Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Innovate and Caffeinate. I am Kelly Pendleton, president of the Christian County Chamber of Commerce. Of course, we are doing this in partnership with our friends in Murray, Callaway County, with West Kentucky Rise, and also Hopkins County Innovation Station. I'm excited this morning to introduce you to some of my favorite people. They make some of the food that I absolutely love, and I'm so excited that they're here in Christian County. This is Desaepa Vansauwa and Zirconia Alleyne. Zirconia is actually the publisher of our local newspaper, but they teamed together to create this phenomenal food truck that I absolutely love. And it's called Vansauwa Tacos and Vegan Eats, and it's absolutely amazing, especially for myself because I'm a vegetarian and there's not a lot of options around for vegetarians sometimes. So having a new option was absolutely phenomenal. Desaepa and Zirconia are from Christian County. They went to high school here, and that's where they met. And then later went off to college and then reconnected, and they've been together doing fabulous things in our community and are true leaders. So we're excited to have them. So I'm going to turn it over now to Desaepa, who is really the face of Desaepa or Vansauwa's Tacos and Vegan Eats. And of course, Zirconia, you see her involved in a lot of things around the community. So Desaepa, Zirconia, it's all yours.
Hey, how you guys doing? As she said, I'm Desaepa Vansauwa, and this is my girlfriend, Zirconia Alleyne. We are the owners of Vansauwa's Tacos and Vegan Eats. A little bit about the company. We serve up Caribbean-inspired cuisine, and we try to put it in, twist it over to the taco form. As well as Kelly mentioned, we do have vegan options.
Our jackfruit is really popular. I think that's one of Kelly's favorites.
And just to speak on the jackfruit real quick, it's like it's a 100% fruit. It got a meat-like texture and consistency. Flavor it yourself. Awesome. Come check us out. But what we want to talk about today is basically our start, how we got started, concept, and things of that nature. So for me, it was growing up with my father. I was an entrepreneur, my stepfather, and my mother as well. So it was already instilled in me to own something of my own, or at least be able to control the outcome of it. So getting older, I played football and went to the University of Houston. I got in a hit and run accident my junior year, which put my football career on hold. And while recovering and still wanting to be active, I wanted to see what could I start. What could I start that would have the least amount of overhead with the potential to grow. And after doing research, I discovered that food trucks was a valuable option and a fast growing industry. Getting into that, and I needed a concept. I'm very cultural. So I knew if I was to start anything, I would want it to have something of culture, as well as I'm a foodie. I love food. So for me, tacos was a quick niche, being that it's so diverse. You can switch it up with different things. But basically anything that you can fold, you can call a taco. And that's basically what we did. But we wanted to have a theme. The Zirconia here has a family history in Barbados. Am I correct?
My dad is actually from Barbados. They immigrated here when he was 14, I want to say. And they went to New York, grew up in Brooklyn. And my grandmother, aunts, all of them have always cooked Caribbean food as I was growing up. So it's always been a style of cooking that I love. So whenever he was talking about starting a truck, I was like, well, we should tie in foods that we love and make it accessible to people when they're at festivals, canned food that you can carry around with you. So it's kind of how this all began.
Yeah, and like, so I remember like in the beginning, I would, just like a lot of people when they got ideas, it's a lot of lip service. Everybody's talking about, oh, I want to do this, or I got an idea. And Zirconia, for the most part, she was tired of hearing me talk. So one day when I was down here, real quick backstory, I was staying in Mobile, Alabama for about 6 years. That's why I was able to experience, a little bit more diverse food, especially being that that's the birthplace of New Orleans. You have all kind of culture. I mean, birthplace of Mardi Gras. You have all kind of cultures coming in and, displaying different types of food from around the world. So I was able to really dive into different diverse foods, but it was always just an idea. When I came after I left Alabama, I went to Alaska for 6 months. And then up there, time was up. So then I came back to Kentucky. Excuse me, it's like I'm rambling. It's the first time I think I'm really telling this story. Um, Came back from Alaska to down here, and again, like I stated, Zirconia, she was tired of the talk about what you want to start, so she looked up the Ventures Festival here in Clarksville, and signed us up for it and said, hey, you got an event, see what the tacos can do there.
Well, I was literally asking them a question of like, what does it take to be a vendor? We do Caribbean inspired tacos, and we were like just beginning, and they emailed us back and were like, hey, you're booked. And I was like, oh, okay. So we had to go buy our tent. We had our griddles.
No, listen, actually the first piece of equipment that we bought was a smoker. We don't use it. It's a personal equipment item now, but that's how head first we dove in it. We didn't have any. We just had a concept. So we went out and got the smoker, and I think the event was like 4 days away, and I have never cooked on a smoker before. So for the next 2 days, leading up to it, I was trying to smoke everything and then see how to get the texture right and how am I going to chop this if I wanted tacos. I'm going to pull it apart. So it was a lot of learning. And safe to say, we went to the event. We ended up getting a griddle, a 36-inch griddle, and we sold out. The first day we was there, we sold out with the help of her father, who's used to that style of food. Again, he's from Barbados. So when he got there, he seen how I was chopping the chicken. Like, your technique is a lot off. Not a little, I was a lot off. You're doing it wrong.
Thankfully, our family showed up. My mom, his dad, my dad, and they all hopped in to help us, and we were drowning. The response from the crowd was awesome.
Amazing.
Our line was wrapped, and everybody kept coming back, and they knew it was our first event. We were really honest about, please bear with us. We know this is taking a while, but people stood in that line and waited, and they had awesome reviews, and we're just thankful for everybody who helped us out and gave us a chance. So that's how all of this got started.
Now, I will say, after that, it really opened our eyes up to we have something that can transfer over into something very valuable. And then Zirconia, she found the entrepreneur contest that Hopkinsville
Christian County Chamber of Commerce puts on.
They partner with the community college as well. Am I correct in saying that?
I think so.
Okay.
But yeah, I had covered that for years working at the paper, and then when he got here, it was around that time when the applications were due to participate, and so I just sent him the link to fill this out, and he went through that program and talk about kind of what you learned.
Okay, so with the program, it was really awesome. So first thing what they do is they you have classes that you have to go to, mandatory business classes, not too long, but just basically giving you the fundamentals of what we may be stepping into. Being that you don't know what the contestant's idea for a business is, we just touched the broad range of things. Then we had to submit a rough business plan, a rough draft for a business plan. Luckily for us, this concept wasn't new, and we already had some experience under our belt with the event. Now, though Ventures Festival was our first event, we was able to do a couple more leading up to the time of the competition. So we kind of had the concept down. And when we submitted our rough draft to the panel of experts, they was able to revise it and send it back, and we was able to touch it up, send it in. Then what happens is you go in front of the judges.
Yeah.
And if you whatever,
kind of like Shark Tank.
Yes, it's like the Hopkinsville version of Shark Tank. Shark Tank, exactly. Only thing is like everybody wants to buy in because, again, the city wants to see you grow. They want business here. So they're not there to cut you down. If anything, they're there to let you know that this is a great idea. Keep going. You may not win this competition, but I love the fact that you're attempting to put something in our community. Luckily for us, the judges were impressed. We was invited out to the Compass Awards. Was invited to the Compass Awards again, still not knowing who the winner is. Just happy to be there, and come to find out we won. We got, I want to say it was $5,000 from that competition, and excuse that truck. That's my Rottweiler.
And our dog.
But after winning that competition and having some experience under our belt, I took it upon myself. At the time, I was also working at Walmart Distribution Center. I was like, this is a great opportunity to go. If you are going to call yourself an entrepreneur, no one believes in a part-time entrepreneur. So that's one thing I do want to say to everybody that's watching. If you got a dream or ideal or concept for something, first off, make sure that it's finance. Not how would I say that? Lucrative. Make sure that it's lucrative, and don't just think about the startup money. You need working capital. That's one thing that I kind of jumped in early, because, like I said, we got the contest money, the 5,000. And for me, I was like, okay, that's enough. I'm gone. I need to work for myself and go full-time in it. Luckily, the response for the food was good, and we was able to build up a cushion. But we did have our stumbling blocks when it comes to entry fees for different festivals and different things of that nature. Because though, yes, your overhead is low, but to get into those spaces, it's going to require fees.
And we've gotten accepted to some big festivals like Essence Fest, for instance, and their entry fee is $4,000. Like, who just has $4,000 laying around to just sit as an entry fee? So that's one barrier to entry that you've got to consider that we didn't think about.
And that could be, for your business overall, but especially in the food truck business, where you are dependent upon exposure. Another thing we have to look at is the cost of wrapping your vehicle. What type of equipment you need, what type of paperware you need, whether it's going to be trays or forks or things of that nature. You need to really make sure. Somebody else while I'm talking.
We thought it would be pretty to do this outside, so clearly there's life happening around us.
But make a long story short,
I think you should also talk about the Kickstarter.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That adventure.
So okay, real quick, I want to wrap up working capital. It is very important to have, being that you never know what could happen. A lot of times we just calculate the cost for the entry to get in. So if you're doing bakery, you probably just add up your bake mix and the bowl you want to put it in, but you don't look at different cake holders. You probably don't look at the different knives you may go through, and bags to put the ice. Just different things you don't think about for the longevity of the business. I think that's something we have to really come back and collect and look at our business plan and make sure that we was able to take care of every aspect of it. And so again, just really have your stuff down.
Just plan, and also know you're going to be thrown curveballs in the midst of it. So don't be rattled, I guess, whenever you see like an unexpected expense.
And like you said, to speak on the Kickstarter, that is a great way for companies to be able to transition into the next phase of their business. What we liked about Kickstarter was that for your contribution, we were able to give back. So at different tier levels, they have different levels of acceptance, different levels of rewards, depending on what you donate. And it's no burden on the pledgers, being that you don't get no money until the end of the campaign,
your goal is met.
And the goal has to be met. And so it kind of protects, the person that's trying to donate to a good cause from allowing their money to walk off. Unfortunately, we didn't meet our goal. I
like to tell that story because for some people you say, "Oh, just do a Kickstarter," and you think, "Oh, once we get this money, well, that'll be the launching ground for this. But there are failed Kickstarters, and that we didn't let that stop us from growing our business.
Yes. So with the Kickstarter, what that would allowed us to do was basically hit the ground running. We set it at a goal that would allow all equipment, all wraps, things of that nature, but not getting it really forced us to pivot as entrepreneurs. It really allowed us to sit back and prioritize what was important, what is needed, and what is going to allow our business to continue the same level of quality without missing a step through the lack of having, what we think we need. So going through that, and I'm happy to say today, as of 2020, June 2017, we're right there at the door of completion. This is our second year in the business. The trailer is I want to say complete besides the wrapping. And I'm excited about that. But Jeff, what I would say, man, look at all opportunities, because a lot of times people, I've noticed talking to different owners, different entrepreneurs, they give up because their idea of what that company is going to look like wasn't able to develop as time went on. So when you come in with so much buzz, and let's say something like a pandemic happened right as you started your business, you haven't really got your feet on the ground to really, know that you can sustain or you can bounce back from it. But I always tell people, you have to be able to pivot, set it, whatever you're trying to do. Like I said, whether it's baking cakes, food truck, clothing, always, without any danger or, any inkling of a pandemic, you always need to set your business up in a way that if they was to stop me from being able to work this way, I can do this. Or if they stop me from this, I can do this. So for us, pandemic happened, there's no festivals, there's no events. Yeah. And for us, that was a big thing for us being a food truck. So what we was able to do, we was able to deep clean our food trailer and then offer a delivery service. On Sundays, we switched to our Sunday dinner plates, where we go away from the concept of tacos, and now we make whole plates for, families, being that people wasn't coming out. We lowered our prices to a point where we wouldn't take a hit, but we'd be able to offer more to those that may have taken a hit. And with all of this, you're still able to keep your name in front of people's face. You're able to provide for your community at a time that they need you, as well as you able to show the community the longevity and the value of your business, being that you're able to pivot and continue to service the community. So pivot, plan, working capital. What's some other things? Exhaust all avenues of opportunity. And what I mean by that is, I know a lot of us are not grant writers, but just know there are billions of dollars out there in grant money for vast collective of businesses and industries. There's also different people looking to partner with different businesses. Look at how your business can benefit from a partnership. I don't know. It's just so much out there for entrepreneurs, especially at this time when you're looking to start your own, or when you're looking at trying to find a niche. You got think tanks in certain areas where you're able to get with a collective and put your ideas together. Because what we know, you can't do this by yourself. You're looking at the owners of Vansauwa Tacos and Vegan Eats, but we have friends that have dedicated themselves to this just as much as we have. We have family members that have went out their way and overreached to make sure we were straight. And, just a random phone calls, hey, can I drop anything off? Everything good? That support system, build it up, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to do it alone. You're going to need your resources. Check with your Chamber of Commerce. They have, a wide selective of programs and opportunities for the people of the city. Check with your what do we do with the Parks and Rec? Yeah, Parks and Rec. They're always doing different events to make sure that that you see if you can get your face in it. If you got a business to service the community, Parks and Rec put on events for the community. That's a great partnership. And just be available, be accessible. And so that's my biggest take on entrepreneurship. It's not hard. It's not hard to own your own. And I hope in this pandemic, it showed you that you don't need to be dependent upon an employer, because you're not guaranteed a spot. There's a lot of things that has been going on. You're not guaranteed a spot. And, when you're able to control your own, it's not a clear-cut path to financial freedom, but you do have more of an opportunity to make something happen for yourself and your family. Oh, and I'm not fighting. This bug's just trying to fly at me. But you do have an opportunity to exhaust, like I said, to avenues to make it for yourself versus having to be let go or laid off or time cut or underpaid or whatever the situation that some of us face. Entrepreneurship and different programs really give you the opportunity to turn that around for yourself and your family.
Thank you guys so much. It was so good to hear from both of you. And I love that you kind of had that message of not giving up and pivoting and knowing that if there's an obstacle, not to give up, but figure out a way around it. I love that. We do have a few questions that have come in for you guys. For someone wanting to start a food truck, what would you say is the first step?
First step is research, because you have several styles of trucks. For us, originally we wanted a food truck. Easy, accessible. You can drive a little bit better, a little bit smoother transition. But come to find out, certain festivals and certain parks don't want food trucks because it could potentially leak oil. And if most is on state grounds and they don't want no oil stains, then you have, some don't want food trucks or trailers because the generator is too loud and they're trying to, maybe have music or they got entertainers. Then you have the tent aspect of it. With the tent, you got to account for bugs and, heat and things of that nature. So really just do the research on the type of food that you're trying to service, the type of avenues you're trying to get in, and go from So the first thing is, know what you're trying to do with your business. I know some people get food trucks and want to go straight to, the factories and do the lunches. Me, myself, I'm a community man, so I want to be in the community. Some people, is not in it for the everyday hustle and bustle, so they may just only want to do weekends and events. So the first thing I would say is find out what you want to do so you can get the proper vehicle. After the proper vehicle, you need to understand where you want your layout to be, because you're going to have to submit your design layout to the health department to make sure that things are placed in the right area and everything is got the potential to be up to code. Then check on your plumbing. Plumbing is very important in Hopkinsville, in Christian County, as far as regulations for the food industry.
So basically,
study. I know there's a lot. She has a basic question, but there's a lot. Study and know what you're doing. Again, if you design or you set up your business plan properly, you're going to know what you need, because that business plan is going to outline everything that's needed for your business. Everything from your sales forecast to your competition, all the way down to what you're going to provide for. What your service is going to provide for the community that it serves. So just plan. And I would say business plan. Your business plan is the first step. You're muted. Okay.
Yeah, I know, I got muted. You guys are very active on social media. Has that been a big help for you all?
I feel like we should be more active. I lead our social media on most days just because of my background. But I think that is a big part of our success so far.
Yeah.
That people see us, they know us. We tell everybody, even when they're like, well, where can I find you next? Follow our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So I think that does help people find us and get to know who we are as a company.
Yes. And like she said, your presence is important, because for a lot of people, they spend a lot of time on social media. Mm-hmm. So you want to meet people where they're at. That's one reason we went with with mobile business versus brick and mortar, because people may not always be able to get to you. So that constant presence of being able to move to different locations, being able to be on different social media handlers, allow us to really get in front of our audience.
Now, you guys, I've seen you go from your tent to your truck. Do you have any plans for a brick and mortar? And also, when is your next event?
So I'll answer the last part first. We will be at Hopkinsville Brewing Company, one of our favorite partners. We love Kate and everybody out there downtown Hopkinsville. So we will be there tonight from 4 to 8 p.m. Come get a taco, get a brew. He's grabbing a charger. But we do have plans to eventually open a brick and mortar. It's kind of in the early phases, so we don't want to tell too much, but we have our architectural layouts, our design and ideas and where we want it to be. So we do have plans to open a brick and mortar. So you want to talk more?
Oh, yes. So listen, surrounding cities, the city of Hopkinsville, we are planning, I just picked it, I had to put it on a charger. We are planning on opening a taco shack. We're going to call it Vansauwa Alleyne. We are looking at a couple locations, but of course, there's some things that we have to get set up first. I just got through running, so I'm kind of out of breath. Yes, brick and mortar, not too big, not too small, just a place that we can come and still get the same quality and flavorful food that we all know and love. But yes, something that can service the community year round. This year we didn't get snow, but we do know the city shuts down, for the lack of better words, during the winter when the snow get here. So to be able to keep moving when a food truck may not be able to, as well as allow us to move around and just have more exposure. You have a food truck out, you can be doing the catering. At the same time, the taco shack will be able to service the community. I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome.
Well, and Zirconia, I'm glad that you brought up the brewery. And we're on rotation right now. I'm doing this virtually with the other counties, but when it comes back to our turn, we're actually going to have Kate from Hopkinsville Brewery is going to be our next guest from
No, snap.
So we're excited about that.
I love her. Yeah, that's my partner. She gave us our first start in Hopkinsville. Yeah. When we first returned back, so the Business Festival was our first event, and then we did other events in other cities. But our debut in Hopkinsville was actually at the brewery, and it was a large turnout. Thankful for the community. Thankful for Kate to allow us her space, and since then we have grown a great relationship. We also have once everything gets back to normal, Taco Tuesdays for the city of Hopkinsville is officially at Kate's Hopkinsville Brewing Company. So that's something that we're working on. And again, guys, that's what I mean when I say you got to be able to pivot. Partnerships are important. You never know what's going to happen, and you never know who you may need as far as help. I seen the picture in the brewery team up for, I know they had the art studio, they had the dessert with the paint plate as well as a crowler. It was an amazing combination of companies coming together to try to do something for the community as well as, be profitable for themselves. So, yeah, partnerships.
That's wonderful. I want to thank you guys so much for being with us today. And I'm so glad that you brought up the entrepreneur competition that our chamber does. We actually do that in partnership with Murray State's Western Kentucky Rise, who's helped doing this with us. And then of course you mentioned the conference, entrepreneur conference that HCC has. So another great partnership, which you guys were the recipients that we were so excited for you guys to win that. So again, I'm going to echo what they both said about resources. Look in your community. There are entrepreneur competitions, there's Kickstarter campaigns, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are people who are around to help. So if you have an interest in starting a small business, then seek out those resources. And like Desaepa and Zirconia said, do some research and find out. There's people that can help you along the way. Thank you guys so much for being with us today.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so you do have a chance to win one of our Innovate and Caffeinate coffee mugs. So just look for an opportunity, check in with us on our Facebook pages. You can check in at the Christian County Innovate and Caffeinate, Murray Callaway County, or Hopkins County Innovate and Caffeinate. If you're interested in being part of Innovate and Caffeinate, whether having your own chapter of it or interested in being a speaker, you can contact Melanie Tapp, and her email is mtapp@west. centralky.com. Join us next week. We're going to turn it over and hear from Alan Lutz, and he's with Calhoun's Pet Store and Feed. So we'll learn a little bit more about what he does and how he got started, and so lots of good things to hear from there. So check back with us next week. Grab a cup of coffee. Join us Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning to hear from Alan and Calhoun's Pet Store and Feed. Thank you guys again so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.